Okay, so I'm going to talk about how a nerve impulse is transmitted across a synapse. So far, we've only learnt about how a nerve impulse is transmitted through an axon, but now we're going to talk about how it goes from one nerve cell to another. For instance, if you have a reflex arc, this would be crossing a synapse from a sensory neuron to a relay neuron. So the nerve impulse reaches the end of the neuron, and this is called the synaptic knob. And when it depolarises this membrane, it actually opens a calcium channel, and calcium can diffuse into that presynaptic cell. Now, the diffusion of calcium causes the neurotransmitter vesicles to move towards the presynaptic membrane. They will fuse with that membrane and they will release their neurotransmitter by exocytosis. Now, the synaptic cleft is very small, only 20 nanometers, so it diffuses very, very quickly to the neurotransmitter receptor, and this will cause an ion channel to open. Now, in the case of acetylcholine, this will cause a sodium channel to open. And because there's lots of sodium outside, sodium will diffuse into the postsynaptic cell. It will depolarize the postsynaptic membrane, trigger a depolarization, and then this will cause a nerve impulse to travel in the postsynaptic cell. Now, in the case of acetylcholine, if that remains here in the synapse, it will continue to trigger more and more sodium channels to open. So it needs to be very quickly got rid of. So within the synapse, there's an enzyme called acetylcholine esterase, and it will break down the acetylcholine into acetyl and choline. Now that choline is actually reabsorbed back into the presynaptic cell, repackaged into vesicles to be used later, and that will stop any more impulses from continuing in the postsynaptic cell. And that's how a synapse works.